Hello everybody, and welcome to Yoga at the Community Arts Center. My name is Adriann White and we're here on a beautiful afternoon. We've got some requests today for lots of whole body stretches as well as some things for the feet, particularly when we get tightness in the connective tissue in the arches of our feet. We get what's called plantar fasciitis. So today we're going to really focus on some good whole body stretches and some things for the feet. So let's go ahead and let yourself find your comfortable position. And as you let your body settle in and let your body settle back, we'll close our eyes. We'll begin to turn our focus and our attention inward as I get our music playing. So we feel ourselves slowing down as we rest against the mat. We feel ourselves gently settling back. Gently begin to settle in. And just feel your breath moving in and out. Not making any forceful changes. Instead, just giving yourself permission to let your breath flow smoothly. Taking all the time that you need to fill your lungs fully. Taking all the time that you need to empty your lungs completely with each inhale and with each exhale. So that gradually we can feel the stress, the tension, and the rushing of our day starting to fade away. We can focus on feeling not just the movement of the air through our nostrils and sinuses. We can focus on feeling how our ribs expand as we breathe in, how our ribs contract as we breathe out. Maybe if we put one hand between our navel and the bottom of our ribs, and one hand over our heart. We'd like to feel the belly rising up into the hand on the inhale, and then feel our ribs expand. On the exhale, we'd like to feel the lower hand and the belly gently sinking, and then the chest. Breathing in, feeling lower hand rising, and then top hand. Breathing out, feeling lower hand sink, and then bottom hand. Tells us that we are filling our lungs fully and emptying them completely. As we continue with our long, slow breaths, can you just let your shoulders roll back? Maybe open your arms away from the body, 6 to 18 inches wide, and lay the backs of your hands to the mat, seeing if that allows the backs of your shoulders to sink even closer to the floor, so that we release any tension or tightness that we may be holding in our shoulders. As long as it's comfortable for your lower back, extend the legs and let your feet roll to the outer edges of your heels so that lower back and glutes and hips relax. And as we enjoy those long, slow breaths, can we just allow ourselves to surrender into the support of the floor? Everything is at rest. Letting our muscles soften in preparation for our stretches. Today, we can have our first stretch be for the shoulders and the upper back. So when you're ready, we'll inhale to reach both arms up as high as you can. And as our fingers reach high, spread the fingers wide, feeling how the points of your shoulders lift away from the floor. While arms are upright, on the breath out, let the weight of your arms drift down into the shoulder sockets, feeling your shoulders sinking to the mat. And we'll repeat, breathing in. Arms pull our shoulder blades away from the floor. Breathing out, we let the weight of those upright arms press our shoulder blades back down. Can we do that 4 more times, creating a stretch across the upper back, and then releasing the stretch. As we do our last 3, notice how you're stretching between the shoulder blades, all the way out to the points of the shoulders, and then releasing your effort. One more time, we'll inhale both arms up to the sky or the ceiling. On the breath out, we'll open our arms out and down to the ground shoulder high, letting the backs of the hands and the length of each and every finger and thumb lay flat to the mat. A little stretch in the palm of the hand. From here, we can go ahead and bend our knees, sliding our feet so that they are hip-width apart and our heels are almost under our knees. As you breathe in, roll to the right edge of each foot, letting your knees sink right and turning right ear down to the ground. Noticing the stretch that happens in the left side of the neck, out the front of the left shoulder, through those ribs and waist, and out the tops of your thighs to your knees. On your breath out, let's roll back to center. Small of the back to the mat. On the inhale, roll to the left edge of each foot, turning your head to the left, feeling right side of front of body stretching. And again, on the exhale, we'll roll back to center. So that was 1 set. Let's do that 3 more times, breathing in. Feeling the openness from the base of our throat down to our knees. And breathing out to use our abdominal strength to come to center. We'll do 1 more time to your left and to your right, coordinating your movement with your breath. And we'll do our last exhale to roll us back to center. And allow the small of your back to gently sink flat to the mat. From here, we can open the knees out to the side walls, creating some stretch in inner hips and thighs with our reclining bound angle pose. If you'd like, we can bend the elbows to create goalpost arms, letting our fingers point to the wall beyond our head. Now, if you have tight inner hips or thighs and it's uncomfortable, feel free to put a yoga block under a thigh to help support the leg to whatever's a comfortable position. If you find that the back of your hand doesn't rest to the mat because it hurts your shoulder, again, be welcome to put a yoga block under the hand to keep your shoulder comfortable so that everything can be at rest. So opening front of chest and shoulders, stretching inner hips and thighs. Now let's do some additional hip stretches by exhaling to put both feet and the small of our back flat to the mat. We will place our left ankle across the front of the right thigh, just below the kneecap. I'm sorry, just above the kneecap towards your hips. And then whether we loop our yoga strap around the back of that right thigh, or whether you use your arms, let's gently draw that right knee forward towards your right shoulder. And then we can notice what happens to our left thigh, our left hip, as we gently have right knee pulling left leg forward and in towards the chest. If you're feeling any discomfort or any deep stretch, use the long, slow exhales of your breath to gradually release that discomfort, feeling yourself softening and slightly relaxing. If you reach the point where you feel good with this stretch, several options. One option is to use the hands and arms and pull the thigh even closer to the shoulder, as long as you can keep your tailbone to the mat. Another option is to flex that left foot, meaning bend your left ankle so that left toes point up to the ceiling. And is it amazing how bending at the ankle changes what you feel all the way up the leg where your leg meets your bottom? And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and release the strap, letting both feet come flat to the mat. Noticing what, if any, differences you feel between left and right, hips and thighs. When you're ready, we'll reverse our stretch, this time placing right ankle across the left thigh, just above the knee. Again, you can use your yoga strap reaching between your legs to put the strap around the back of just the left thigh. We don't want to include our right knee. We want our right knee to open out to the side. And as we use our hands or our yoga strap around the left leg, now we're trying to gently draw our left knee towards the left shoulder, noticing what we feel, where our right leg meets our body. And we can notice without judging, is it easier or more challenging to do the right leg than it was the left? As you use each exhale of your breath to gently release that discomfort from the stretch, there is the option to challenge yourself by flexing right ankle. Think of pointing your right toes back to that right knee, noticing how that affects what we feel all the way up at the hip. Remember, we hold our pose. Here we continue to breathe in and out, slowly and deeply. When you're ready, we can release hands or strap, and as we uncross the legs, once more we'll put both feet flat to the floor. And then just inhale to extend the legs. In fact, let's push through the heels. And inhale to reach through the arms, lengthening whole body. If you'd like, stretch a little more between left hand and heel. And then be welcome to switch and stretch a little more between right hand and heel. And then one more time, we'll reach equally with both arms, pushing equally with both heels. And on a breath out, let's relax and return to our resting pose, which is called corpse pose. Today, we'll use our yoga strap for some more stretches for legs, hips, and lower back. So this time we'll get our strap. At home, if you don't have a yoga strap, use the nice soft belt out of a bathrobe or a necktie. Let's bring left knee up, looping our strap around the ball of that left foot, just below the little toe. And then we'll gently inhale, left heel all the way up to the ceiling, using a gentle grip on the strap to try to hold your left heel above your hip. Now, since we don't have tension in the shoulders, let your elbows and upper arms relax to the mat so that neck and shoulders relax. All we're having the strap do right now is keep our foot from drifting towards the mat. We're just using the strap to hold our heel above our hip. If you want to create more stretch in the back of your leg, Do that by pushing up with the heel or by using your strap to gently draw your leg forward towards your head. We don't want to pull down because that tends to make us bend the knee, and then we lose some of the stretch. We'll go ahead and hold both ends of our strap in our left hand as we open right arm out to the side, shoulder high. Keeping your heel in line with your hip, let your left leg drift gently to the left. Noticing how low will you be able to sink that left leg and still keep your right buttock flat to the mat. If it's uncomfortable, remember you can use your yoga strap to support you. Here's also an option to take your yoga block and put it underneath your thigh to help support the leg if it's more inner thigh stretch than is comfortable for you. We're using our strap to help keep our foot up towards our forehead so that we have a nice straight line from right hip to left hip and out that left leg to the heel. When you're ready, let's use our strap to bring that left heel back above the hip. And now we will do an outer thigh, outer hip stretch. We want to keep our left hip flat to the floor as we gently start bringing left thigh across the right. Sole of our right foot is turning towards the right wall. Sole of our left foot is turning towards the right wall. And notice where your leg meets your bottom. What kind of stretch do you feel there? Are you still feeling a little stretch in the calf, the back of the knee, and the back of that left thigh by keeping your heel in line with your hip? Now let's turn this into a gentle spinal twist. So since right hand is holding both ends of the strap, let's open our left arm out to the side, shoulder high. Flex your right foot, and now on an exhale, gently roll over onto your right side. Noticing, are we still keeping heel in line with the hip? Are we able to let left arm and shoulder stay down to the ground? If it's too much stretch for the front of that left shoulder, again, here's a place to put a yoga block under the arm. And then how much glute, outer hip, outer thigh stretch do you feel going out the outside of that left leg? And then when you're ready, our most challenging part of this reclining hand to big toe combo is on the exhale to roll back to center, bringing our heel above our hip. Now if you'd like, go ahead and put your right foot in the strap with the left. The balls of the feet are in the strap, heels are above the hips. And notice in your body, how much longer does your left leg feel than your right leg? We'll keep our right foot in the strap and gently drift left leg back down to the ground. And as left leg comes to rest, notice, again, my heel is above my hip for right leg. I'm using a light grip on the yoga strap just to help hold that leg up. And now I'll hold both ends of the strap in my right hand, extending the left arm out shoulder high, so that I can open right leg out to the right side, hip high. I'm using my arm and my strap to support my leg, keeping it my foot towards my head. And then as your body permits, maybe you can let that little toe edge of your right foot sink a little closer to the mat as we keep left buttocks down to the ground. Without any judgment of good or bad, to notice in your body. Does one leg sink open lower than the other did? And then from here, we'll use our yoga strap to bring that leg back up to the ceiling. We'll transfer both ends to the opposite left hand so that we can open right arm out shoulder high. Again, we want to keep our buttock down to the ground as we gently take right thigh across the top of the left, feeling our outer hip, outer thigh stretch. Maybe down into the glutes and up into the lower back. And remember, breathe. When you're ready, we'll turn it into a spinal twist. Exhaling to gently roll over onto the left side. Trying to let right arm and right shoulder stay down as close to the ground as you can. Seeing if we can let little toe edge of left and push out the left heel. And use our strap to keep our right toes pointed shoulder. Notice that big stretch through the glutes, through the outer thigh, the back of the thigh. When you're ready, we'll roll back to center, starting with the breath in, and then exhaling to roll all the way back as we bring that right leg up. When you're ready, we'll release the strap, and as we set it aside, again, we gently drift back into our corpse pose. Taking a few breaths to notice, how do left and right halves of your body feel? From here, can we carefully roll over to hands and knees? And we'll do some gentle stretches for our toes. So if you want to roll to one side and come on up to sit, that's fine. If you would like, bring your yoga blocks, if you have them, up towards the head of your mat so that they're within easy reach. And then we'll do hands and knees. Many times in yoga, when we are in table pose or hands and knees, we point our toes back for a nice big stretch in the shins. Today, we're going to inhale, reach our hips back, child's pose. Letting the arms extend for some stretch through the armpits, the sides of the ribs and the waist. On the breath out, pull with your fingertips against the mat. Coming forward, maybe moving the hands to a gentle plank pose on your knees. While we're here, we'll curl the toes under. And now inhale, pressing back, returning to our child's pose. Noticing how much we stretch through the arches of our feet with our toes curled under. Again, on the exhale, pull to bring it forward. Plank pose on the knees. We can lay the tops of the feet flat. Again, inhale, reach back. Sitting down a little lower this time, feeling the stretches in the tops of the feet. Notice too the shortness or the tightening of the muscles through the arches of our feet. And then again, exhale, pull forward. Bring it all the way up to plank pose on our knees. And now from here, let's curl our toes under. One last time, inhale back to a variation of child's pose. And then when you're ready, again, we'll pull with the fingers so that we can come up into a downward dog pose. Noticing that as we straighten through the knees and the arms, we lose that stretch in the arches of our feet. Our heels may or may not touch the mat in down dog, and that's okay. Our goal is to try to reach the heels gently towards the mat. What really feels good if you have plantar fasciitis is what's called walking the dog or pedaling. Let's bend one knee, coming way up on the toes. And then we'll switch so that as we straighten that knee, we gently bend the other knee. Now notice the focus is on the feet. As I bend the knee, I raise that heel up as high as I can to create, again, that stretch in the toes and down through the arches of our feet. And the gentle alternating of stretching and relaxing those muscles in our feet is a nice start toward helping us relieve our plantar fasciitis. When you're ready,
Let's exhale, sinking both heels down. They may or may not touch, and that's okay. And then from here, can we look up to the hands and step our left foot up to a runner's lunge? Now, I happen to have long arms, so it's easy for me to let my hands reach the floor. If you have what a friend of mine jokingly calls her short little T-Rex arms, and you find you have to really round your back, you can either make a fist, steeple your fingers, or again, here's a wonderful way to use your yoga blocks so that we can lift our torso off our thigh and be comfortable bringing the floor up to where our arms end. Please, please do not do this by lifting the palm up and bending your knuckles backwards. They weren't designed to bend that way. Now let's add a little more stretch to the feet. Notice I've let my hips sink. My left knee is over my ankle, and it's going to stay that way for the most part. I'm gently pressing right heel back. Now I'm going to inhale and shift my weight forward, really stretching the toes. And then exhale and shift my weight back, stretching the calf. Let's do that about 3 more times. Inhale to shift forward, keeping our hips down so that we're not raising our hips up in the air, but we're really rolling over those toes, changing the stretch that we feel in the arches of our feet. And then from here, let's turn it into extended side angle. We'll take that back right foot, turning it sideways and flat. Now, depending on length of your arm versus leg, you can keep your left hand to your yoga block. If you have longer legs, you can stand your yoga block on its higher end. Or if you prefer the stability, rest your forearm across the thigh. Now we're going to turn the whole right side of our body up to the sky, keeping our left knee stacked above the ankle. Think of energy going in 2 opposite directions. The energy of right fingers is reaching past your right ear towards the wall and where it meets the ceiling. The energy of your right leg is traveling down the leg to that place where the little toe edge of your foot meets the floor. From here, can we inhale to come up to Warrior 2? That's the way. We're keeping our left knee bent over the ankle and preferably having that knee point over second and third toes. Now instead of leaning out over the left leg, have your right hand pull you back so you can stack crown of the head, heart center over the tail line, a nice vertical line. Hopefully you're feeling a little strength in the top of the thigh, a little stretch in the inner thigh. Can you press the little toe edge of that right foot down to the ground again? And now let's windmill the arms to come back to our runner's lunge, rolling up onto the toes of that right foot. And from here, we'll set our blocks aside so that we can bring our hands down to the mat and step the left foot back to meet the right in downward dog. As we relax the neck, notice what difference do you feel between left and right feet, and ankles and quadricep muscles and hips. Okay, from here, we'll do some more stretching for the feet. This time, let's inhale way up onto our toes as high as you can go. Can you push back a little more with the arms? Lots of strength in those calf muscles. Notice how on the exhale, as we slowly sink the heels, it becomes a length in the calf muscles. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhaling to reach up as high as you can go. And then exhaling to slowly lower. Notice what changes in the backs of the toes, in the arches of your feet, the calves. Are there any changes in the hamstrings, the back of your thighs, or your glutes? How about what you feel in the arms and the shoulders? They're strong. Does moving your feet affect what they feel? One more time, we'll inhale, coming way up on those toes. Sigh, exhale. And then looking up to the hands, do what you need to do to step that right foot forward. That can also mean bringing your knees down and using your right hand to help walk that foot forward. There's no one absolute right way to do things in yoga, so modify it to make it work for you. Again, I like to use my block, noticing knee above the ankle. We don't want to get stuck here because this puts too much strain on the kneecap. So like I said, if you need, bring your knee down. Use your hand, help pull that foot forward. Once we have our nice safe alignment, let's inhale to roll forward on the toe. And then exhale to roll back. Notice hips are staying low. And yes, for a few brief seconds when I roll forward, my knee is above my toes. And then I immediately release. I'm not staying there or forcing the knee to hold that position for any length of time. Okay? And then when you're ready, we'll get ready for extended side angle. So now it's the back left foot that turns sideways and flat. Hand can stay to yoga block, taking it to a higher edge or propping it against the thigh. As we inhale, left side body up to the sky, turning your torso, your heart center towards your left wall. We're feeling lots of stretch inside the right thigh. Maybe some length down the outside of left leg, through the calf and the ankle. When you're ready, inhale, coming up to your warrior two. Again, trying to keep the knee above the ankle. Trying to stack crown of the head and tailbone. Now, notice, do you have your shoulders back above your hips so that you're not leaning forward? Are we feeling some strength as well as length in our warrior two pose? Can we put a little more weight to the little toe edge of our left foot? Noticing, does that affect what we feel in outer ankle and calf? When you're ready, we'll windmill the arms, coming back to our runner's lunge, rolling onto the toes. And this time, can we walk the left foot up to meet the right? It can be one big step or several small steps. If you want, bring your yoga blocks up for your forward bend. And then we'll soften the knees, sweeping out and up to extended mountain. Let's lift heart center up. To keep my tailbone pointing down, I gently squeeze the glutes so that I can create upper back bend. And then exhale and come back. Extended mountain. From here, take your weight to your left foot and slide that right foot straight back about 24 to 30 inches. Again, nice straight line, crown of the head over the tailbone. Think of having your tailbone and your hips centered between your knees. Now we're not hunching our shoulders to our ears, we're letting our shoulders relax. And for the feet, let's inhale, roll up to the toes. And exhale and slowly sink down. Good. If we're keeping our shoulders back above our hips, notice as we raise the heel, our head and our torso go straight up towards the ceiling. And then as we lower the heel, our torso comes straight back down. There's not a leaning forward because that throws us off balance. One more time, we inhale straight up. And we exhale straight down. Now from here, we'll turn it into triangle, opening our arms shoulder high, straightening the front left knee, and then at the hips, rotate a quarter turn to your right. Okay? Again, we're stacking shoulders above the hips. Left foot pushes our hips to the right. We bend at that left hip, keeping a straight spine to let left hand rest a thigh or shin. You can lean into the shin if you need the support, or you can let your hand rest against the leg and let your side body muscles do the work of supporting you. Notice, are you really pressing both feet flat to the mat? If you want to challenge your balance, there's the option to turn your head to look up past your fingertips to the ceiling, noticing if changing where you look affects your balance. When you're ready, inhale, come on back up. We'll bend that left knee. We'll inhale, arms up, turning to face forward our warrior one again.
And let's step up to extended mountain. Upward facing salute as tailbone points down. And exhale, swan dive into a forward bend. Hands can rest to thighs, to shins, to yoga blocks. We're lifting tailbone up. We're letting head hang down. If you like, gently nod your head yes. Releasing a little tension in the neck and the shoulders. And then when you're ready, again, we'll sweep arms out and up to our extended mountain. We'll reverse our warrior two, so that this time weight is to the right foot and right knee gently bends as the left foot slides back and we bring our heel down. Let the weight of your arms sink into your shoulder sockets. And then when you feel good with your balance, let's again inhale, lift that left heel up. And exhale, slowly lower. Let's do that 3 more times. Pushing with the toes, feeling the stretch in the arch of the foot. Exhaling to come down. How about one more time? Breathing in and out. We'll get ready for triangle, straightening the front right knee as we open the arms. Quarter turn to your left. So right hand is above right leg. Right foot presses into the floor so our hips slide left. And we bend at that right hip joint. Right hand can come to thigh, shin, yoga block. If you want, you can lean into the leg or just rest your hand aside of the thigh. Feeling the length from crown of the head to the tailbone. Feeling some strength in the back of your waist muscles on your left side. And again, if you'd like the option for balance, inhale and turn your head to look up past your fingertips to the ceiling. When you're ready, let's inhale, come on back up. We'll bend that right knee over the ankle and we raise the arms as we turn back to center in our warrior one. This time let's exhale, pull ourselves forward to come back down to the mountain pose, our traditional mountain pose. Okay? From here, we'll go ahead and do some balance poses. So if you need to go where you can hold on to a wall or a piece of furniture, please be welcome to do so. Holding on to something in yoga does not in any way diminish the value of the pose. All it does is reduce your risk of falling and reduce your need to worry about getting hurt. Okay? Today, we're going to try to do tree pose first and then a related pose called flamingo. For tree pose, if we take our weight to our right foot, notice your tailbone's above your right ankle, right knee's relaxed. We can bring our hands to our heart in prayer pose, and then we'll turn our left knee out. Now, it's perfectly acceptable to keep your left toes to the floor for balance. If you want more challenge, you can rest your foot to your ankle, or to your calf, or to your knee. If you want more challenge, you can open the arms up nice and round. Some folks like the energy of lacing fingers together and extending pointed index fingers up to the ceiling, like a big tall pine tree. Are we feeling the toes of our right foot, the arch of our right foot really trying to hold the floor? Let's exhale, gently come on down. That was great. Everybody looked super. If shoulders are tense, roll through the shoulders. If feet hurt, roll through the toes. It takes a lot of calf and foot strength to stand on one foot, so let that foot relax. And now let's try the other side. If you want to start with your arms up, if you like that, you're welcome to experiment with that. And now we'll take our weight to our left foot, turning right knee out. And you put your right foot wherever against your body it works for you. Can we try to keep elbows back in line with our ears? Can we try to stack ears, shoulders, hips over our heel? And is everybody remembering to breathe? One more breath in and exhale, come on back down. If you want, roll through the shoulders and the toes. Okay? So I don't know if you noticed that when you were resting a foot to a leg, our leg was really sturdy and perhaps our foot was pushing against the leg gently. We are going to do a yoga pose next called flamingo, and it's supposed to look like a flamingo that stands on one foot with its head tucked under its wing when it sleeps. Instead of taking our leg out to the side, we are going to bring our leg to the front. I like to think of how the arch of my foot gently fits over the bend of my kneecap. And then I press my kneecap gently into the arch of the foot like an isometric exercise where there's gentle, equal pressure of foot and knee. I don't want to push my knee backwards, but that little bit of general pressure can be enough to support you. So if I do flamingo pose from the side, let's take our weight to our left foot. Let's try bringing our right knee forward and up. Now roll your shoulders back, and however it works for you, connect your hands behind your back. Maybe you hold a yoga strap. Maybe you hook your thumbs. Maybe one hand holds the other wrist. Maybe we lace our fingers. Now I want to have the energy of my arms extending past my tailbone. My knee and my foot are supporting each other. And I'm going to exhale and gently bend at the hips, like I'm trying to lay my torso down on top of my thigh. Now I'm keeping my arms down against my body, and my hands are still energetically reaching past my tailbone. Obviously our raised leg and our torso weigh more than those arms behind us, so it's the energy of the reach back that helps to counterbalance us. When you're ready, inhale, come on up, and release. After all the stretching that we did when we were on our toes, did you feel those muscles in the arches of your feet strengthening to hold the floor? So if you need, roll through the toes. Shoulders are tense because of balance, roll through the shoulders. And let's try our flamingo, putting our weight to our right foot. Again, we'll connect our hands behind our back. Let's see about bringing left knee forward and up, resting left foot over right knee, and the two support each other. Hands reach back as we bend at the hips. Noticing, does changing which is your supporting foot really affect your balance? And is this your better leg for balance, or your not quite so good leg? Keep reaching back with those hands, and then inhale to unbend at the hips. And come on down, release. Excellent. I don't know how you did at home, but the folks here did a fabulous job. Good job, everybody. Again, roll through the shoulders and the toes. And let's come back to our mat. Can we come down to sit without using our hands to touch the floor? Maybe you want to bring one knee back and down, and then the other, perhaps sitting to the side. And we'll stretch out the legs. Okay? Let's do a little stretch for front of chest and shoulders. That's one area where we've gotten some stretch, but not a lot. So we'll do cow-headed pose. If you'd like, get your yoga strap, your tie, your bathrobe. Okay? Now, in many cases, cow-headed pose is done just as the upper body and the arms. The whole pose is the legs as well. So let's see if we can bend our bottom left knee, holding our ankle in line with our knee. If you know your hips are tight, sit up on your yoga block. And now can we cross our right knee over top of our left, so that in cow-headed pose, these would be the horns of the cow, and this would be the length of the cow's head. Now, since your right knee is on top, you want to put your yoga strap in your left hand. By the way, if this is really uncomfortable for your legs, please, please be welcome to just sit cross-legged or in any other position that is safe for you. Okay. Right knee on top, left hand holds our strap. We'll put our strap behind our back, trying to point left elbow forward and up. Right hand goes behind the waist. And if your fingers don't touch each other, use your yoga strap to connect upper and lower hands. And then as we sit tall, can we have the top hand gently walk down the strap? Can we have the bottom hand gently finger walk its way up the strap? bringing the fingers as close together as we can. Now, instead of looking like we're really suffering, can we smile? Lift our head up, lots of space between the chin and the chest. Remember, we're breathing. And then how about one more breath in? Exhale, release the arms. If you want, lean back, uncross the legs. If knees are stiff, you're welcome to gently bounce the knees. If it's the hips that are stiff, rock the legs side to side, so leg bones move in the hip socket. And now we get to do the other side of our cow-headed pose. So if you're doing legs, that means we bend bottom right knee first. Please keep your heel up in line with your knee. Please do not pull your heel back towards your hip, because what happens is then we lift our buttocks off the mat. Okay, so ankle in line with the knee, and then we try to stack left knee over top of right. Our goal is to see if we can sit equally on both buttocks rather than off to one side. Okay, since left knee's on top, that means it's the right hand that holds our yoga strap. Means it's the right elbow that points forward and up. And now left arm goes behind the waist, seeing if we can find our strap. Notice, in your body, is this the easier or the more challenging crossing of the legs? And is this the easier or the more challenging positioning of your arms? Are your fingertips closer together or farther apart with this combination of arms? There's no right or wrong. It's very normal to have one side of our body be stronger than the other. That also means it's pretty normal to have one side of our body be more limber than the other. And on an exhale, we'll release. Again, we can set our strap aside. We can stretch out those legs. We have one final stretch to do today, and that is crescent moon for side ribs. They got a little bit of stretch in our triangle. They got a little bit of stretch in our extended side angle. Sit however your legs are comfortable. This just is my default position. And then if you'd like, you can bring your yoga blocks to the floor under your hands. If you have longer arms, you can rest the hands to the mat. As we sit up tall, stacking hips, shoulders, and ears, let's inhale left arm and left ribs up to the sky. And as we lean into that right arm, right elbow bends, maybe right arm slides away. Maybe here's where you lean your arm into your yoga block. Yoga block can be low or it can be higher, whatever works best for your body. And now keeping that left buttock in contact with the mat. How much can we open and lengthen left half of body? We're keeping our head pulled back so that our ears are in line with our shoulders. And can we feel a little stretch through the waist? When you're ready, inhale, come on back up. We can side exhale that left arm back down. And as we sit tall, notice, does the left side still feel longer than right side? Okay, we'll switch. When you're ready, we're inhaling right arm, right ribs up, leaning into the support of that left arm. If you want, use your yoga block at any height that works for you. Our goal is to let our left shoulder sink so that instead of having our shoulder jammed up into our ear, we let the elbow bend towards us. If we point our elbow back, notice how it hunches the shoulder forward. But if I point my elbow to me, it allows the shoulder to sink and gives me a lot more room that I can curve my spine. And breathe. Again, we're trying to keep both sitting bones in contact with the mat. Noticing, is this our easier side to stretch? Or is this perhaps our tighter, not quite as limber side? And when you're ready, inhale to come on back up. As we exhale and relax the arms down, we can straighten out the legs. If you want, gently bounce the knees. And it's time to get ready for closing relaxation. So anything that you like to do to get comfortable. Maybe you like to roll to lay on your back. I often like the feel of knee to chest pose because it allows me to lay the small of my back flat to the mat. So there's lots of length in lower back. My feet worked hard in our balance poses today, so knee to chest pose gives me the opportunity to point and flex my feet, to stretch and squeeze my toes. Knee to chest pose gives me the opportunity to move my feet through large, slow circles in the air. And then when you're ready, if you'd like, see about rocking from one shoulder blade to the other, from one side of your pelvis to the other, so that we're massaging upper back, we're massaging lower back. And then when you're ready, we can come on back to center. And as we release arms and legs, go ahead and find whatever is your comfortable position for your closing relaxation. If you like to just stretch out into Shavasana or corpse pose, please be welcome to do that. If you want to put a yoga block behind your head to give your neck a little support, be welcome to do that. If it's uncomfortable for your lower back to have your legs fully extended, instead of spending time with feet flat to the floor and then making our leg muscles work to keep our legs still, you can bend the knees a little bit and put your yoga block under the thigh, under the knee to support that gentle bend in the leg, or under each leg. Experiment. See what works best for you. And as we enjoy our long, slow breaths, again, remember, we're filling our lungs fully with each slow inhale. We're emptying our lungs completely with each slow exhale. We're trying to release any last tension or tightness that we may be feeling anywhere in our muscles or our joints. And we're just trying to let our bodies float on the surface of our mat, relaxed and at rest. Feeling yourself at ease. As you notice how your body feels, picture yourself going to that discomfort. And exhale, warm, soft breath over that discomfort, like you're trying to melt it, trying to soften it. And then breathe in, like you're drawing that discomfort into a big bubble of air, so that on your next breath out, you can push that bubble of air out of your body, releasing a little bit of that discomfort with each breath in and with each breath out. And as we enjoy this time of softness and stillness and peacefulness, I'd like to share with you a little quotation. We are currently videotaping this in late August, so it's getting ready for back to school season. Okay? And of course, the school children have teachers. The college students have teachers. Yet each and every one of us has an opportunity throughout our days to be a teacher or a guide or a mentor, simply by what we say and by what we do. So to be the best teacher or to be the best guide for someone, lead by setting a good example, not by being a critic. Let your words, let your actions, let your behaviors set the good example for how you would like to see the people around you behave, how you'd like to see the people around you treat others. None of us like to be criticized. And if someone says, hey, you shouldn't do that, even if they try it politely and say, hey, it might be more effective if you did it this way. Sometimes people just don't like to be told what to do. Guilty. But if I see someone else doing something that happens to be very effective and is kind, I'll make a note of that. I'll try to remember it, and I'll try to put it in use myself. By following that person's good example, I'm oftentimes learning a new and better way to do things without any criticism from anybody. So just give yourself another moment in calmness and in quiet and in peacefulness. Notice how much better you feel now than you did when we first came to our yoga mats. And as you're ready, let's gently start bringing movement back into our fingers. We can move our hands. We can move our wrists. And then let's start gently bringing movement back into toes and ankles and feet. And as you're ready, we can let that spread out into movement of our legs, so that as you feel that you are ready, you can open your eyes. If you're laying down, gently roll to one side, and then use hands and arms to help push you back up to a comfortable sitting position. I don't know about you at home, but the folks here are all smiling. I think that means we feel a whole lot better than we did. So everyone, in person and through our YouTube channel, namaste. Thank you so much for doing Yoga with Adriann White here at the Community Arts Center. We are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. and Tuesday evenings at 6. So if you'd like to join us in person, we'd love to have you. Give the Arts Center a call at 814-255-6515. And thank you.